guys, Hugh Shang here. Welcome to another Hugh Shang tutorials video. In this guide, we're going to be looking at 3 different replays, and these are all replays where the Terran is either doing some sort of cheese, some super crazy all-in, or they are pretending they're cheesing and then getting a command center on the high ground. Okay, so let's start off with where they proxy everything. So they put their first barracks across the map, they put their factory as well, and their starport. And so this is the most aggressive build they can do. So when they open this way, we'll be gate scouting to identify this. And so when your probe arrives at about 120, what you're going to see is 1 depot and then no barracks. So this isn't a game against a real player, so you just have to imagine, but they have their depot, they have no barracks, and then what you're going to want to do is make sure that they didn't just hide their barracks somewhere where you won't, where you'll overreact and assume they proxied it, but they actually just put it like right here. So that's why I am shifting this SCV or this probe around. I'm looking for that barracks just in case, and then you'll want to figure out if they're going 1 gas or 2 gas. If they're going 1 gas, then it's going to be some sort of like Marauder build possibly. And if it's 2 gas, then it could be some sort of 1-1-1 all in. So that's a good tell to figure out which one it is. We'll just be addressing the 1-1-1 all in because the other one's kind of specific. And probably not as good anyways with the new shield battery. So you see 2 gas, you see no barracks, you look around here as well, looking for barracks in these corners, and then you can also check over on this side. Okay, so that's how you figure out that it's actually the all-in version and not just some sort of like proxy racks or just some hidden racks. And then so once you know it's the crazy all-in version, actually there's one more clue. You can bring your probe back up here and see if there's a factory going down. And if there's a factory somewhere in their base, then they're just doing like a light Reaper proxy. So excuse me. So make sure it's not that one. Make sure it's not the proxy Reaper. Make sure that they have a factory at home. And then you basically confirm that it's some sort of 1-1-1 proxy with all their buildings on the map. So they might have put like barracks, factory, starport, something like that. Okay, so you know it's that. So now our response is going to be to play the opening like normal, chrono our stalker. But apart from the buildings, we're not going to make any more probes. So the buildings are going to be the same order, but we're going to cut probes at 22. So, well, 22 on the actual mining. We have one that's scouting, and then we're also going to have one that's just down here, kind of making buildings if we need. So, first stalker, I think it's a bit better if you put the robo and then the second stalker, but in this replay I just did a second stalker then robo. And speaking of robo, we should always go robo when we're playing against all-ins because they could go some cloaked units, and there's also the possibility that they transition with some of these builds. So you definitely want to get that robo down. It's also, I mean, you could get an immortals with it, so it's just a really strong tech choice when you're facing all-ins. So we're going to get the robo soon. We're also getting 1 shield battery. You don't actually need this against the 1-1-1 proxy. So if you want, you can skip this in this case, but if you want to get it just to be extra safe, there's no harm in that. And then next up, we're going to grab the robo. Like I said, you could get this a little earlier before the stalker. That's probably a little better. And then 2 more gates. And again, we're still not probing. So that's, honestly, that's the main thing here is you're not probing past 1 base saturation. So we throw down these 2 gates. So we went stalker, robo, stalker, 2 more gates, and then we chronoed the cybercore 1 time. So we still have quite a bit of chrono, 1 here and almost 1 over here as well. And then you're going to make a 3rd stalker in a second. And you're literally never going to make probes. That's really important that you don't make probes against this. Because if you think about it, they're on 1 base and they don't even have a second. So there's no real reason for us to probe this. If for some reason we defend the attack, then we just basically win the game. And if we don't win the game, we have a whole nexus over them. And we can start probes like a minute and a minute and a half faster. So that's a pretty huge advantage. So we don't need to extend that anymore. So at this point, you are waiting for the robo and the gateways to finish. You're going to float a lot of money, but don't worry about that because we will spend it super fast. Observer first, just in case they do something like banshees or they're like getting expansion behind this. You want to know about that. So always observer first and then immortal. Okay, and then we're going to warp in 3 zealots. You could warp in some stalkers as well if you want. But personally, I think the 3 stalkers are enough to defend like a liberator if they add that in, or to target the medevac or whatever. So I think 3 zealots is the way to go. And then you can wait for this immortal, and then you can do 1 more warp in and then start pressuring their proxy. I think it's good actually to pressure the proxy. It seems kind of weird because you're supposed to be the defender if they're all inning, but the problem with waiting is once they get like 4 or 5 tanks, if that's the build they're doing, then it doesn't really matter if you're over here. Like the 5 tanks are pretty much unkillable. So I think it's way better to do it like this. Get a bunch of units really fast and then just attack their proxy. And then once you kill their buildings, I mean, they lose the game. So do that. Put pressure on their proxy once you get your first immortal, and you should have 10 units. 6 stalker, 3 zealot, 1 immortal. So I mean, this is way more than they have. They probably have like 1 tank, maybe almost 2 tanks. So it's pretty one-sided, or it should be. Okay, so this is the crazy all-in version. They're just going balls to the walls, 1-1-1, only units trying to kill you. And then we have another version, which is the total opposite. So in this replay, they're not all-inning at all. They're just pretending they're all-inning. Or at least that's what we're going to show you how to respond to. So this happens a lot when I look at student replays. This actually doesn't happen a lot in GM, but let's take a look. So same scout. Your scout's going to get here, and what you're going to see is a depot, a barracks, and another depot. So there's no way you can get in. And so we don't really know what they're doing. They could be doing basically anything, right? They could have a CC over here. They could be going, some sort of crazy all-in. So we're kind of blind. The only thing we know they're not doing is the 1-1-1 proxy over here, right? Because they have the barracks at home to block us. So they're inherently a little bit weaker. Like, I mean, they could still proxy, and the replay I'm going to show is that, but their Marines are so far that it's just really bad. So the only reason they would be doing that is to hope that you just assume they got a CC, and you make too many probes, too much tech, and then you get wrecked. So we'll address that situation as well, but the first one I want to cover is the command center on the high ground. Okay. So if they put the CC on the high ground, or well, rather, if you don't know they put the CC on the high ground, they have full walled, then what we're going to do is kind of react like they're all inning, but also kind of react like they're macroing. We're going to go in between these two. So we're going to chrono our first stalker. We're going to make some probes, and we're going to get the fast robo. So this game I did the robo properly. 1 stalker robo, then 2nd stalker. And you're just going to rally this straight across the map. A shield battery, just in case they're doing one of those proxy barracks attacks. Okay, and then here, 2 more gates. Actually, let me go back a sec. So we didn't cut red at 22 like we did in the last game. We're making 4 probes for this natural. So we're making a couple probes, and then we're grabbing the gates. So what do I have here? 4, 5, something like that. Yeah, 4 probes. So 4 probes, then we grab 2 more gates. So we're already a little more greedy than the all-in version, but remember that their barracks is over here, so it's totally fine if they are all-inning. And then this way, if they are macroing, we're not going to be behind because they're going to have to move their CC, and they had to get a very fast depot, so they're already a little bit behind as well. Okay, and then we're going to make a 3rd stalker. We're going to make an observer, and you're going to send that straight across the map. So this is really important in this situation. If you don't do this and you make an immortal, you assume they're all inning, and they did make the CC, then you're going to be behind like 15 workers, and that's pretty much impossible to win from. So you have to make sure you're adding these workers and that you make the observer. Okay. And then next thing we're going to do is a immortal here. I suppose you don't need to make the immortal here either. You could just make some stalkers. That should be fine, but we'll make the immortal here. We'll do a warp in as well, just in case he is doing the all-in. And then in a second, we're going to have confirmation that he's not doing that, right? So this observer comes in here, probably sees the command centers down already, and then at this point, you know they're not all-inning. Also, if you want, outside of like Master League, people are going to not check over here. So instead of, like, you can probably get information earlier than this observer by just leaving your probe like here. And then when they land their CC, you just see it immediately and you can start chronoming your probes and just making workers like crazy. So that's one way you can get a little earlier scout, but probably most Masters GMs won't allow that. They'll probably run their Marine around here and kill that anyways, so you'll have to get the observer scout instead. Okay, so comes in here, sees that he's got an expansion, and then you can basically do whatever you want here. Like, you could go Robo Bay for Colossus, you could add your forges in Twilight if you want to play, you know, double forge, charge at Archon, or charge lot Stalker rather. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do from here, but this is a totally fine base. You've got lots of workers, you're probably ahead economically if you played it correctly, and so this is a nice position for you to play out into the mid game. Alright. So let's jump out of this one. I have one last replay, and this one's actually a ladder game, so this will be a nice middle ground for you guys to actually see some play. And this is the one where he's doing something in between these two. So he's actually put his barracks at home, but he's also proxied his factory starport. Now, this is not actually the strongest proxy all-in, I think. It's kind of a weird build. But you'll see in a second. So let's fast forward to the scout so you guys can see how it looks. So scout comes in here at like 130. Well, normally comes in at 120 if you do the gate scout. I think I did a 17 scout instead. But you come in here, you see, you know, the barracks is at home, so it's not the whole proxy 111, the super crazy one. And it's not just like a proxy second racks with Marauders, because he would only need, you know, one gas for that. So we see he has two gases. So now we know that he's doing some sort of 111 build. We don't really know that it's super crazy all in, because he could just be trying to trick us and maybe get the CC down here. So I'm not super convinced that he's all inning, but we're gonna prepare the middle ground way. Like, I'm gonna play the safest way possible, basically. So the way I'm going to play is the same way you would play if you came up here into the ramp and you saw this and you couldn't even get in here and he was doing this proxy. So I'm going to play like in between these two. Even though I could, honestly, I could just stop probing right now and play as if he's like super crazy all in. But I'm going to play middle ground so you guys can see. So I get the shield battery. We're going to get the robo after one stalker, I believe. Good, so I did it correctly this game. And we'll rally that across the map so we can scout if he's transitioning. And then we're going to make like 4 or 5 probes at the natural. Not too many, not too few. And then you're going to drop your gates. We're going to grab the third stalker. So you can see here, it's a pretty well laid out plan. We're basically doing the exact same thing in the replay I showed you. And then we're going to chrono the observer across. We're still making probes here because he has his barracks at home. So we know this is, we can get away with it. And then we're going to go immortal, start warping in units. Actually, I'm not sure if I go immortal this game. I go second observer over here just in case it's like Banshee. We definitely could have won immortal here though. And then I'm going to warp in 3 stalkers up in the main. Just to defend this drop that comes in. So now we're like super crazy far ahead. We're up 35 workers to 24. And I mean, nothing's really happened. We just followed a safe plan because we couldn't see what he was doing exactly. And now we're just like in an unlosable position basically. And we can just make units and go wreck his proxy. So here's when I chrono an immortal, I think. Or I should fairly soon. There we go. A little slow of me. And then we're going to start warping to some units. I'm starting to pressure him a little bit. I probably don't have to be doing this, but it works out nicely. Behind this, I have warped in some Stalkers and some Zealots. The Immortal's almost out. This Liberator took a lot of damage. We just warped in a Stalker. And so I just grab all the units, move out. I think I forget to bring some units actually, and we still win. So you know this is pretty powerful stuff. He builds a Thor, which is kind of crazy, but it's actually not that bad, I think. It's kind of strong, especially if you don't react the way I did here. But then once we bring our units that we forgot at home, then it's an easy win. So hopefully you learned something. And if you did, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment of what you want to see next, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.